Welcome back, guys, to the second episode of my Transport Fever Let's Play. Now, I've delayed on releasing a video because I've been having problems with my own game, my other games that I've been playing of this game, in the sense that I keep on going bankrupt all the time. So, I'm hoping that that won't happen for the Let's Play. But I did make a few adjustments to the game off camera. One of those things was this train. I've removed one of the carriages from it. I removed the carriage because it's just not able to get up this hill very easily. I think it's just it weighs too much, and the way that the game calculates how much you get paid is how fast the trains go and their distance. So, getting rid of the extra carriage could always be added back on later, and then this whole train line, this whole train track, I'm eventually gonna tear up and make into a more straight, flat, and faster track. So in the future, it won't matter as much. I also went ahead and put the transit system for Fullerton in, since I didn't do that on the camera last time. What I'm going to do this episode is I'm going to attempt, and this is where we're probably going to break the bank, but I'm going to attempt to get this stone from there down to here, and I'm going to use a train, because in my experiences, I have not been able to do anything successful with trucks dealing with something like this. Here, the stone is going to be created to construction material. Now, the construction material that can be shipped off via truck off to here, and that's going to expand the industrial end over here, which I did explain in the last video. Now, the reason why I want that is because this train is not making cash. It's just not. It is making no cash. None. It's making cash, but it's not making a profit whatsoever. And to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a train depot or a train station in here, and I'm gonna have to put the depot. One of the things that I like to do is I actually like to connect tracks together, even if they'll never be used. I'll then just use this depot to buy a train, and whoopie-doo, it costs a little bit for it to come over here. But this is the most hideous landmass I have ever seen anything in that's worthwhile to get to. I have never terraformed anything like this or done any trains through mountains. I'm gonna have to bite the bullet for this one. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to end up making a tunnel, but let's see how we can get around this big mess. We can go the really long way, which is following that track essentially. We can't really go this way, but there is this option of following the contour lines right in the middle. If we do it right, it shouldn't cost too much, and I might be able to make it flat so that the speed of the train isn't hurt too much. The biggest problem is the speed of the train. That's going to be the biggest problem, because these trains that we have right now in the 1850s, they are not powerful at all. So let me get, I want a cargo, and I want a terminal station. You can always upgrade this later, or even totally change it. I mean, obviously, I could just change everything later on when money doesn't matter. So, oh, that is not good. It is not highlighting. That is not good at all. Now it is. So I'd have to actually make one right here. That could still work. It's gonna cost so much money. Wow. Well, then there's another option. Let's kill time. That is a big tip that I can give to anyone that plays this game. Pause your game when you're doing construction. In other games like this, you can't do that. This, you're gonna get hit by, in a couple months I'll be hit by my interest of my loan that I already have out, which is 4 million. I don't want that interest hurting me right now. I'll take the negative hit though, because generally I go red and then I come back up. I'm gonna force this to work because it has to work right here. It just has to. There we go. Now I have, I mean, that's a pretty penny for a station. Well, it's gotta go somewhere, and it's definitely not going over here. That is, no, 1 million? No way. No way. What was that 200 I saw? There's a 200. I don't think there's much else that I can do. Ooh. It's all about the terrain. I could probably raise the terrain, but you would think, it's interesting. Is it just me? Is it going inset into the ground? That's weird. I've never seen that. I'm holding down shift. I've never done that before. Well, that's where it's gonna be. Now, we're gonna want this to stay flat. Since we know we're going uphill anyway, there's no reason to make it go down and then go forward from there. Now, since I told it to stay flat, it will keep that option on throughout the entirety of my construction. That means when we hit this hill, it's going to try to cut into it. The 30k for a line is not bad. It's when it hits that, that's when it's a problem. So I'm going to raise this or turn it off. There we go. I'm going to turn it off, and then I'm going to try to snag myself onto the contour line and curve with it. Ooh. No. We'll go straight there. That's straight as well. Just going downhill a little bit. I don't know if I don't know if I wanted to go downhill. I'm gonna have to come back uphill. I would probably cut through that valley. Do I want to come down the trees or go right through the mountain? I'm gonna see what it's like to go through the trees. It's still going down. I guess I was really high up. 170, 171. It shows right here where your mouse cursor is. I'll tell you where, how high you are above the ground. It's very useful to find out what in the world you're up against. So I'm up against almost 20 meters higher, 15 meters higher over here. Yeah, a huge fall right there, and that's this black line right here is the biggest problem I'm going to have with making this line. So as you can see, I'm already dwindling in cash, but that's not gonna matter. I'm gonna take out a loan. since this is on medium difficulty, I can only take out loan up to 10 million. And given that we've already taken 4 million out, I don't have much to go with. And these turns are gonna kill the trains, but it'll have to do. Now that's 28 miles per hour, and the current train we have can only do 25, so it won't be bothered as much as the other trains that we get into the future. The ones that go 30 miles per hour, that they're not gonna like this turn. Alright, I'm gonna try my damnedest to get this down the hill. I mean, a road could work. Oh, see, there's a cliff face right there. So I'm gonna want to probably go this way. More turns. At least that's 46 miles per hour. I mean, that's a heavy price. But it's 61 miles. It's 61. Well, I have it on miles per hour. I'm saying kilometers, probably because I'm seeing other people on YouTube that are saying kilometers because they haven't changed their settings. How can I connect you into something? So the rest is not gonna be hard, to be honest. At least from this angle, it doesn't look that bad. I want to see if I can connect it straight somehow. Alright, so we're gonna need to take our first loan for this session. Give myself a cool 1 million. And there we go. Okay, and it was a cargo, right? Okay, thank God. You know how many times I do passenger and I get so mad at myself. Too much slope. So that's the problem. That is going to be an issue. So that means now I'm gonna need a lot more room. Still too much slope. Can we lower it down with N and M? Okay, that's raising it up. Now it's lowering it down. Still too much slope. Or no, maybe it wasn't raising it. What was it doing? Lower down. What the heck? Too much slope, huh? Can I make this go straight down? I believe I can. Now, if I come to here, I do not know if I'm going to make it to that train station. I've found that when you're dealing with the terrain, when you see this, like it's kind of flush with the ground. When the track's flush with the ground like that, it's easier to bend it to the way that you wish. Now, see now, why? Oh man, it's that sloped. Oh, this is gonna take a bit. Yeah, I'll come back once I figure this one out. Alright, I figured it out. So, I had to make another station, and I made it sideways like this. As much as this is going to be a bitch for the train to come up, it still works. I still need money, though, because I'm going to need to connect this to the city, and then I gotta buy at least one train. But then, I think I'm just going to use trucks for this one, at least for now, until I start accumulating some more cash. But here's a trick that I've learned with the stations. Ooh, I can actually make it. There we go. With these stations, normally you have this back end right here that connects to a street and has to connect to a street. That street needs to connect in a decent distance or not too far away from the connection to this factory. Or, yeah, it's a factory. And there's an option when you build them. Let's see if I can find it here. Second street connection. That puts the side streets that you see. The only reason why I think they even exist is for this very reason. When you need to connect something like this, and this won't matter, that connection won't matter. I can connect it all I want, but it won't matter anymore. You can also upgrade these and probably downgrade. You can actually say no to this and it will turn it off, or get rid of the street. I'm not sure if it'll actually get rid of the street, to be honest, but I know that you can upgrade stations. And sometimes what I like to do is when I create new ones, whoa, that was some serious lag. I hope they didn't script the video. When you create sometimes when I create new stations, I'll make sure that it can be upgraded to 3 to 4. So once I hit 5, I cannot upgrade this anymore. Fortunately, I'm probably not going to ever use 5 trains on the station, but I might use 2. I could see myself using 2 in the future. Now, doubling up this line won't be as expensive as the initial creation, because I guess because when you make railroads, you're dealing with perfectly flat or perfectly angled terrain, so half the work's already done for you. So now we can get rid of that. And now we can figure out where in the world I'm going to put the depot. Oh my gosh. Oh. So, I really dislike, oh well, I'm just going to have to put the depot in anywhere that it can actually fit. It doesn't need to be both ways either, even though that's my normal. Now let's really break the bank. What a weak train, let me tell you. I mean, it's the first of the first, but 95 horsepower. I might as well only put like 3 of these on there, and not even 2. And I'm gonna need more money. We're at 550 now. And window management becomes a problem. I'm not recording a Let's Play. My windows are everywhere, trust me. Okay. And since the game was paused that entire time, let's watch our beautiful new train come out. Oh, and since the patches have finally fixed some of the problems that we had regarding trains and them being able to pick up things when they're set to full load. I'm not too sure what the issue was, but even I thought that something wasn't working right in my previous games. Alright, now he's going to take some time to get up there, but this is not going to request much, if any at all, stone, because, well, its product doesn't have any place to go. Why make bricks if nobody's going to buy them? So we're going to set that up next. Yeah, that seems... No, I'm going to put it closer to the train station. It's not transferring from the train station. Right there. Hopefully it's still in range, yeah. Thank God they fixed that problem too. Previous unpatched version of the game. Sometimes you'd place this down and this wouldn't highlight because it was acting like it wasn't inside the cachement area. And they finally fixed that. Not finally. Forgive me. Developers are actually doing a pretty damn good job. I didn't even know this game existed until randomly. And a couple problems on launch. That can be forgiven. A lot of games nowadays have problems on launch. Guess it really just comes down to their budget. So for this station, ooh, oh, that's perfect. That covers almost everything. There's only one that it's not covering. I don't want to take out a building that'd take out too much money. And that's most of the industrial, so we'll go by that. That's a long trek for me to go, though. But again, in the meantime, we'll just deal with what we got, because I'm gonna go broke if I don't do something soon. So usually I start a line like this with 10 vehicles, 10 to 15. There's no real set way of telling how many you're going to need until you set a line. There's a whole math counterpart to this that somebody on Steam released a guide for. I looked it over, but I haven't actually used the guide in my actual play yet. I only looked at the information. Right. I still haven't set this guy. Yeah, I want your line settings. At Thousand Oaks, I want you to do a full load. Now for him, I'm going to say full load because he's a bare resource. I don't want him shipping anything out unless he's got something to ship, and all of it. Only because he's a bare resource. When it comes to these guys, I'm going to let them be a continuous flow. Even if it might cost more in the end, I've noticed more problems with telling them to full load for something like bricks than I have with problems with stone or what's in iron. Uh-oh. Oh, they're upset because I took out that road. I'm gonna have to fix that. Or not care, but I'm a nice person, so I'm gonna fix that for them. Just cost me a little bit of cash. Let's try to go around my train station. That'd be nice. No. I cannot lower. Ooh. There we go. Do that. Cool. Right back to the place that I broke it off at. Awesome. So now, all we gotta do is wait. With $93,000 in the bank, and now less because the month just hit, we can't even pay back our loan, obviously. What's a loan if you're not going to use it? Now, once I do get cash, one of the first things I'm going to do is make a straight street that goes straight this way, because these windy roads are really, really bad. Really bad idea. And don't worry about them being bunched up like this. The game's really smart. It actually auto levels or auto spaces, which I have a video on inside my my channel. It auto spaces all of your vehicles, and it does this with trains too. But I will say that with trains, I don't know how it does it. It does it differently than with trucks or with buses. So there you have it. An S shape right through the mountain. Of course, in the future, I'm blowing all that out and just going straight down, moving this over there, and having a tunnel right straight through the mountain. Of course, that's when I'm rich. So let's find something else that we could do for hopefully a lot less than $1 million. Wow, spent 2.2 million. What would I do in construction for that? $1.17 million. Awesome. That's a lot of money going. Hopefully the money will be well spent. But we'll see. Now, I just advised not to do something, but I'm probably gonna break my own advice. Because Torrance? Torrance. Is that how you say that name? It's the city full of people that use Torrance. Or Terran. It's not Terrans. It's Torrance. It's gotta be. So, one of the things that I can do to pull in some cash, I'm not really sure if it would pull in all that much. Not in 1850s. But some people from Torrance might want to go to Thousand Oaks. Now, besides them getting their own horse and legging it, I could provide a service to them. But if I want to do it smart, I'm going to make them go through as many different services as possible. I say that without knowing part of the game mechanics that I'm still trying to figure out. I do not know if transfers are essentially discounted or if they're paying full price from one point to another point. I'll explain once I actually start working on this. I'm gonna pause the game again. I'm gonna borrow another 500k. I'm hopefully going to keep this under 500k. I'm not going to use a train. Now in the future, I will use a train. But there's a reason why I'm not going to use a train. There are two different versions of a passenger in this game. There are those that like or require fast transport, and then there are those that would rather cheap transport. Horses, buses, all cheap. Trains, planes, all expensive. I think even ships, like waterways, I think the ships are considered cheap. I think. I do know that if we actually had something, well, that would be really interesting. How about we send a ship to Jolete. Oh, somebody tell me how to say these names. Oh, Phoenix. That wouldn't be too bad. What do you think about the idea of connecting Fullerton to Turance, and then Turance by ship to Jolete, and then Jolete to Phoenix by train, and then Phoenix and Lakewood by bus? That'd be 2 trains, 1 ship, and 2 buses. The thing is, it might be pretty to look at, but would it actually make me cash? Because that's what I really need right now is cash. Well, anyways. So to make these guys go through... Yeah. Oh, did I make that mistake? Yes, I did. I caught it before you guys could even tell me about it. There. Nobody's gonna be sitting inside a cargo box going between towns. They'll be on a bus, well, a horse. We're not mailing people. That's inhumane. So I'm gonna put this station right here, and I'm actually gonna get rid of this one. Grab my guy right here. And I told him I'm not gonna get rid of the actual stop. I'm just gonna get rid of the command to go to the stop, the actual part of his route. So that's number 4. I'm gonna remove number 4, and after Jefferson Street, you're gonna go to Fullerton Annex. There you go. Now that's that side set up. Let's set up this side. And some of the things that I've learned recently on playing the game is to, unlike OpenTTD, or at least I never did it in that, or most of the other games I've played there like this, if you think like an actual bus route, you'll do better for covering the residents, the workers, and so on and so forth. What's really upsetting is that they don't take their bus to go to work inside the same town. And if they do, I never really see them do that. But I know that if they actually get a job from, say they live here and they work over there, they will take that bus to go there. So now to cover these guys, oof, I have to go through a lot of dead space to do that. I mean, this will probably develop, so it won't be a big deal. So let's just do a grand tour type thing. Some of these are, will have you frivolous, pointless. They're already covered by other means. But in all reality, if you wanted to catch a bus, you wouldn't want to walk from here to here. And we might be talking about horse and buggy right now. In the future, it's going to be actual buses. So put these two, and then this should be covering it, right? Well, that is covering it. So. And I'm not going to be so cheap. I'm actually going to put a depot right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually starting, I always put 5. And then I adjust it accordingly. Any more than 5, I actually don't even have a single line that's like that. I don't need to put any more on intercity travel. Intra-city. And now we can set all these guys to a new line. It goes between the two cities. Now, if anybody wants to go up here, they can take that bus route. Now, all bus routes, period, every single bus route needs like settling in time. So it's gonna cost me for a while that entire line I just made. Even these are gonna cost me. Let's look at my lines right now. Yeah, we're not making money anywhere. But I guarantee you we will start to make money here. Oh, here's the auto spacing, as I was saying that they do. If you look at this line settings, they're load if available. It's not telling it to do a full load at all. So that means what they're doing right now is actually spacing themselves out. They do auto space. And these guys are going to take the long journey back home with nothing in their back ends. But he does have stone. He's traveling at 25 miles per hour. Let's see how well he does for speed. Let's speed up the game. I'm really curious to see if he actually makes it up this hill, or if he fights the entire time. Because going down the hill, that's not a problem. Gravity does half of that. 26K. Alright. Well, this will jump up to more red very soon because it's the end of the month. That also means this is now using the line, and I'm not sure. Ah, yes. Some of those did get some construction material. Oh, and another cool thing. I didn't actually need to make this station right here. I could have told them to actually go to this bus stop. I will state though that they will only offload to a final destination with a bus stop. So don't think you're going to get a bus or even another truck to pick up stuff from a bus stop. But because this is the industrial area and these guys need construction materials, you can actually have them go to the bus stop and drop off everything for those guys. I did it this way because eventually this is going to expand and the bus stops are not going to cover it all. And as far as I can tell from what I've played, between last episode and this episode on another game, they do not like going to one or two or three different bus stops. It's basically everything's offloaded in the first stop they go to. It's not actually offloaded, but they're wasting energy. Just they don't take they take materials to one customer, and we're gonna call the bus stops and the truck stops actual, like let's say they are the customers, even though they're just simply the place that distributes it. But if these are the customers, the trucks seem to only offload to the first place that they go to. Now, with me giving them some construction material, we're already seeing some of the effects. As you saw, some of the streets over here built, and we got a new house, commercial building, being built over here. Now, let's see. Are we getting anybody? Yeah, we got a whole 5 people that want to go between that city. You know, when you play this game, you just totally forget that every single person is an actual walking entity. I've played too much open TTD. You don't see people. Hell, the only things you see are your own stuff. All right. Well, this is filling up nicely. I'm curious to know if I'm probably gonna have to add more trucks to this eventually. If this fills up too much, they'll stop production. If they stop production, they'll stop production. That means that'll start incurring costs that, even if it doesn't move, it still has a running cost and maintenance costs. You gotta still check its oil or whatever. Probably keep it fed with coal. I don't know about oil. I'm sure they used oil back then, at least for lubrication. Now, is he getting a full load yet? No. And this is why this was not. Oh, I'm really scared. I might have to start a new game. I just might. I don't know if I would say it's partly because of my own incompetence, or if it would be because of the fact that I kind of got rolled something. No, it was definitely my incompetence. I could have went over this hill differently. And again, if he could just get to his top speed and stay at his top speed, I'll get more cash. I guess the biggest problem I'm having right now is just the lack of customers. And back in the 1800s, I guess not many people wanted to travel between places. You kind of like stayed in your own street until you died. Oh, and I forgot again. And you know what? I'm gonna turn it on. Hopefully it saves with the save. But totally forgot to turn on music again. I actually like the music. I think it's pretty cool. Well, I'm gonna let this play out off camera for a little while, and if I come back and you see the same things that you see right here, it worked, and I made money. But as you can see, I'm losing $167,000 a year so far, and that's mid-year. The other thing I can do is I can create a I probably want to use this street, but a passenger transportation from Thousand Oaks to Fullerton with buses would encourage those that don't want to pay for high speed. But otherwise, this is the part of the game that I can, with my lifestyle, I'm pretty much never sitting still in front of my computer all the time. So I'll quite literally let this run for 4 or 5 hours while I like do things around the house, do some chores or whatever. And then I'll come back and you'll see way more customers between these two. And usually you'll probably see more usage in this line. But sometimes you've got to actually take out a couple of these buses because their cost is overweighing their profit. And the usage is just not justified for them. But this is what I'm hoping is going to make some cash. This is one of the first things that you can get into is construction material. Don't try anything else. I'm not even kidding. If you want to try something else, go right ahead. But your luck, you got to be really lucky because this takes too many products. Actually, it only takes 2 products, but both of which are really hard to make. They take multiple. Well, actually, whoa. Do we have down here? Do we have any wood nearby? No, of course not. Wood's over there. Over there. Wow. That would just be stupid. Is there another woodcutter? Don't tell me that's my only woodcutter in this entire map. Is there anything else that makes planks? Am I blind, guys? Do you see another plank? Oh my god. So, if we ever want to get goods inside this game, we're gonna actually have to ship wood from here all the way over there. That means that unless it's in the future and we have trains I haven't even used before, and I haven't gone very far in the game, that means that between here and here there's going to be a couple months of travel. So they're literally going to go into the red. But if the game's balanced as well as I think it is, this has a high demand for it and it's pumping out planks and they're going somewhere, they're going to pay a lot of money and they're going to cover that cost. It's kind of like you get to choose where they buy their products from. Whereas in the real world, we hire a transportation company. Well, I don't know about a company per se. Like, I'm sure cities hired people to make train tracks between each other. It wasn't the train company that said, hey, I'm going to connect your city to this city. And yeah, you guys are going to use it, make me money. And it didn't work that way. And you can already see that, like, this is ramped up way too high. He's never going to carry more than 3. There's just no way. But he should be making cash. It's not the end of the year yet. He should be making a lot of cash. But I'm going to wrap up the episode right here, and hope that this one was a better one since my mic was more open. People had said, I'd gotten some comments off of YouTube from my video that the push talk thing really wasn't working out. And I agree. I didn't necessarily like using it. But just by the time you see this video, know that this video was made really early in the morning. I mean, it's pitch black outside because the only way I can record is when no one's up in my house. TMI, but I figured you guys should know that I can't record during the day unless you want to hear kids crying or playing or being loud or... yeah. That's why I push to talk. So if I go back to it, it's because I really wanted to record and didn't care what time it was. Until the next video, like if you like this, subscribe if you want to see more, and if you have any comments, any suggestions, if you didn't like the way that this video was set up, if you didn't like that it was essentially a completely fluid video from point A to point B. I only have one break in here that I know of I'm gonna add inside. Or if my mic is working better, because other people are saying that I was really low. Do you think the game sounds are too low? Maybe I should bring up the game sounds a little bit. Or if you just want to talk about the game, please post comments. Let me know what you think. Give me ideas to put out more video for you guys. Until later, ta-ta.